Hi, it's Richard again at the Chinese Camp Store. I'm just going to show you a few things that we have relating to locks and keys in our store. I've always found locks and keys interesting. There's something mysterious about keys. If you find an old key, you wonder, well, what was this for? What did it lock up? And so I bought a lot of keys from a London locksmith. And a lot of these go back to the late 1700s, certainly many in the mid 1800s, and probably some newer ones. These ones are called barrel keys. They're skeleton keys, but if they're hollow in the end, that means they're kind of a higher end key called a barrel key. And a lot of these are actually hand filed, and so these complex designs on the key were made by a blacksmith, and so a lot of work went into this key, and they had to go back and forth until this key fit perfectly to a lock. So these are really cool. Sometimes people will make a little necklace out of them, or or they just admire the craftsmanship. So there's a lot of different ones in here. It's kind of fun to dig through them. Sometimes they have a kind of a fancy head. Some are old and rusted looking. Even some of the small little barrel keys are pretty cool. It's probably like an old desk, early 1800s probably. Now let's take a couple of locks we have. So the sad thing about locks is whenever you find in the ground, you find keys, you never have the lock. And whenever you find a lock, you never have the key. A few of these actually have the lock and the key, which is pretty cool. My knowledge of locks and keys, I got this book. It was pretty popular in our town for a little while. One of my friends borrowed it for a while, but it's all about the history of locks. It's kind of cool. You kind of learn the ingenuity of people all the way back from Egyptian times, Persian times, when they had treasure and they wanted to, keep people from getting their stuff. So it's a cool book. If you come in, you can check it out. But let's take a look at really old locks. Okay, this one was found in Kiev, and so I get a lot of stuff from a metal detectorist in Ukraine, in Kiev, and they have a Viking settlement. He thought it was Viking. I think it's probably more medieval time, but it's before 1400. It's a really, really old lock. Now, sadly, we don't have the key, and the keys for these are funny-looking things. They don't look like what we think of as a key. Here's a lock from late 16, early 1700s. This one actually works, and I'm always afraid to use it. But anyway, you put it in here, and you can actually get let's see if I turn it a little more. Watch, I'll break it on the video, and then we'll all have a good laugh. There we go. The lock works. The sad thing is, this is 300 years old, maybe older. So if you use it to lock up your bike, somebody could probably kick it. It'll come off. But anyway, really cool. A lock and a key from somewhere between 1680 to 1720. So you can come in and get this if you want it. Now here's some later locks. Now we're talking in the 1800s. These are beautiful brass locks, and I've got actually the keys to them. I bought somebody's collection because I'm always buying up old collections of things because I think they're fascinating. And then they kind of sit here in the store for a long, long time because nobody comes in that likes keys or locks. But now you've got a video. Maybe somebody will come in and hey, I want to see that cool. Like, look at this one. This was an absolute. They called it majestic, appropriately 12 levers. So 6 levers was considered high security. So this is like from the mid 1800s, and it's a 12 lever lock. I mean, I can't even imagine that it's Fort Knox or something. Yeah, I'm joking, but what a fantastic lock. Sadly, I don't have the key to this one. I don't know if a locksmith could make one for us. Oh yeah, so it has a little slide to protect the key from dust. But I have a few of these handmade brass locks. Here's another one from the 1800s. I got a key to it. So it's got the old skeleton key. This is a functioning lock. So isn't that cool? A couple others in here. Yeah, here's another beauty. See, here's 6 levers. 6 levers is considered like the top of the line. Like no one's going to get past your lock. But here it is. This one's a double action. So you have to use this first little pin to slide open this gate, and then you can put the key in. So very sophisticated, handmade. So amazing locks. Okay, now we're going to talk about, and if you need to lock up your bike, we actually have regular locks, regular old padlocks. But here's the last lock and key cool thing we got in the store: lock picks. So you can buy this little set inside this credit card thing. There's a whole little set of keys. So that's cool. You can easily carry around a whole set of lock picks. And they work, of course. And I'll be glad anybody gets one. If you come in and the store's not too busy, I'll give you a quick lesson on how to do it. Here's the great training tool for for locks. So we got a clear lock. When you're learning how to pick locks, you want a clear lock so you can see what's going on. But what happens is you do it over and over again while you're looking at the springs and the pins. You start to get a feel for how it really works, and then you can do it with your eyes closed. You get a feel for it. So so you don't need the cheater lock all the time, but that's the way to learn. If you come in, I'll give you a quick lesson, show you how the lock really works, how to pick it, and pretty soon you'll be in jail. So, okay, bye.
Every lock holds a story. Every key remembers a time. Some doors are opened with metal, others with understanding.